He was a nice man, but not a strong leader, and he had many enemies in Pisa. There was a faction that thought an alliance with Florence would make them the strong power they had been before being defeated by Genoa. He liked me, and had tried to marry one of his daughters off to me. He had failed, for I needed no wife. Not yet, at any rate.
You have won a great victory again, and Bernabeu is delighted with you.
I shrugged. And why should he not? It was my men that won the day, and not his Milanese soldiers. The Doge frowned.
It would not do, Sir John, to bite the hand that feeds you.
He and Bernabeu were great friends. I knew that my words would get back to the Lord of Milan, but as he was oftentimes slow to pay us, it would do no harm to remind him that we were the best company in Italy. And I would not, but the Visconti family have not always been friends of mine, and I will be wary in my dealings with them. My tone left the Doge in no doubt that I was not in the mood for debate. He changed the subject.
And now, do you find the time for yourself? Perhaps take a wife?
I smiled as I shook my head, for the Doge was ever keen for me to marry one of his many relatives. He saw it as a means of securing his position. I am not yet ready. I will, however, return to Bordeaux to hire more men.
Be careful, Sir John. Genoa has a long memory, and her leaders know that you bloodied their noses the last time you sailed in their waters.
And that is why I am here. I need a good ship and cunning captain. He rubbed his beard. He had the largest fleet of merchant ships in Pisa.
Giacomo Benvenuti is the cleverest. He is not the most experienced, but he manages to evade the Genoese and travels the western Mediterranean as and when he wishes. His ship has one more voyage to make to Narbonne, and then he will be in port until Easter.
I nodded. That will do. I will need berths for 6 of us, and I will need return berths for Easter.
It shall be so.
He scribbled on the wax tablet. I smiled, for he was getting old and his memory was not what it was. I left and headed for my home. I was rarely there, and it had nothing to mark it as Sir John Hawkwood's. It was a place to store my clothes and armour, and somewhere I could sleep when I was in Pisa. Michael, my squire, and my 4 bodyguards awaited me. Prepare to leave for a few months in Bordeaux. Harold commanded my bodyguards. He was a man-at-arms who had shown me many times that he was one of the best men-at-arms in the White Company. He nodded.
Arms and horses?
Arms and horses, but not Ajax. He deserves some rest. Use Remus. He is young, and the journey will help me to see how he does after a long ride. Harold would choose well. I had lost bodyguards in battle. Harold and the other 3 had lasted longer than most, 6 months. He had been promoted to the better paid position and had no intention of losing it. Chapter 1. Giacomo was everything the Doge had said, and more. His father had been a sailor and had lost his life and his ship to the Genoese. Rather than simply making him bitter and resentful, which he was, it made him determined to outwit the Genoese at every turn. When he was able, he hurt them, but as they had the most powerful fleet in the Mediterranean, he would not spit into the wind. He took satisfaction in using his mind and his great skills as a sailor to best them.
Of course, I can get you to Narbonne unseen, Sir John, and I would be honored to do so. I was told how you and your archers drove off 2 Genoese ships, killing many of her crew. I know that we cannot do that now, but I was happy about your victory. Hopefully, we will not need your archers.
He nodded at the handful of men I had brought with me.
I can see you have no archers this time, so we will have to rely on my methods.
He peered over the side.
We have missed this tide, for it will take time to load your animals.